Hello and welcome to In the Art Scene podcast, a place where creatives share their stories. My name is Galina Marquez, and I have another cool story prepared for you today, so let's get to it. Hi everybody, welcome back to In the Art Scene podcast. I am having a special guest today that I did not choose for this podcast, but my friend and partner on the podcast did. And this is an amazing human being who is doing an amazing work with purpose. And he's the first filmmaker on the podcast. We haven't done that before. So welcome, Marcos Negrao. We are going to talk a little bit about what you do in general and then discuss one specific project, one specific film that made me cry last Saturday night. So why wouldn't we start with you introducing yourself?
Hello, Galina. Nice to see you. Thank you for the invitation. I was listening all the other podcasts that you did in the last few months, and I love it. So it's a very nice opportunity to be contributing a little bit with my documentary projects and films, and as you can notice by my accent, I am Brazilian and from Rio de Janeiro, and I'm 48 years old, and I live in San Diego, California already for a couple of years. And mostly I produce documentary films, TV series, most of them about social and environmental issues. And I always choose projects that can somehow create a positive impact in the communities that we're filming, or changing the point of view of some important issues about our planet and people. So this is more or less what motivates me to go after stories and find interesting subjects to film. And somehow trying to make the film become a bridge between the audience and the characters, and promote change in those communities. So this is pretty much the basics of my projects.
Well, I have only seen one of your documentaries, and I can tell you that you are doing an amazing job creating that bridge. I felt like I'm one of those 12-year-olds, and like I can make a change in the world, although I'm not 12-year-old anymore. Anyway, so when did you first know that you want to be a filmmaker and that you want to make not just entertaining films, but do these projects with purpose?
Yeah, this is an interesting story because my story as a filmmaker is a little bit different than the rest, because I never studied filmmaking, photography, cinematography, nothing like this. Actually, I was like an executive dressing a suit and tie in a huge corporation.
Oh, welcome to the team.
Yes, and I always loved documentaries. I love it to watch Discovery Channel, Natural Geographic, and dreaming like, oh, that would be a dream life, just traveling around the world to those remote places and living like this, what adventures life, but maybe in the next life, because this one is not possible. I am a marketing guy. I work with marketing analysis. I have no contacts at all in this area. And I always had that passion. But one day, there was like 20 years ago, I decided to buy a camera. So I went online, I bought this film camera, and as soon as I bought the camera, I said, oh my God, why did I do? I expend all this money in a camera, I don't know how to film anything. I tried to cancel, but the camera arrived. And then I thought, okay, if I have this camera, I need to film something that nobody never filmed before. So I was in Brazil at that time, but I thought, okay, the Brazilian slums, everybody already knows the Brazilian social problems and everything. The Amazon is also something that's a lot of content. And at that time, I used to always travel in my vacations to nice places, to like isolated Asian countries, always trying to find some hint in a boat here and there. So I decided to go to Burma, Myanmar.
Wow.
Yes. And at that time, Burma was very closed, very closed. I could not find any available material about Burma. It was very restrict for cameras, journalists, and things like this. And I say, wow, maybe this is a good place for me to start because there is nothing available. Maybe people want to know about it. And it was really interesting. I teamed up with another friend that was a photographer. And we kind of crossed the border between Thailand and Burma, right now Myanmar, through the forest in the north, in the opium area. And I spent 1 month filming there. And what was interesting, because I didn't have any background, so before the travel, I spent like months watching documentaries on TV, just learning. Oh, I got it. You make like a 10-second shot. Okay, and then I can close a little bit and make a detail, another 10 seconds. And then I can do a pan, a tilt, and then I'm gonna have a good material, always using the tripod and everything. So I follow this format, this production format, to make sure that my material not gonna come all shaky and things like this. And what I found out was an amazing, beautiful country, super interesting in terms of people, culture, and diversity. And I spent 1 month in Burma filming different parts of the country, the Golden Triangle, when they produce the opium and everything. I travel using a balloon over some areas of the country.
A hot air balloon?
A hot air balloon.
Wow.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And then we got a boat in the south of Myanmar to film the sea nomads, the sea gypsies. They have a kind of tribe that they live in boats. And so I filmed that. And then I came back with my normal life. My vacation was over. I came back with my normal life, suit and tie. And I found a small editing studio in Brazil to help me put together a teaser, a promo, something like this. So I had something to show. Everybody, oh, you filmed Myanmar, so can I see something? So I need to transform my mini DV tapes in a small trailer. And it was really interesting because when I show up, the material was kind of really nice in terms of photography and everything. And I start connecting with other production companies that are doing jobs in this same editing agency, in the same editing studio. And the people, oh, nice material. What camera did you use? And did I start networking? I made my promo video. And I start presenting this promo video to friends and family only because I didn't have any contact. And what happened is that 1 year after that, it happened, the monk revolution in Burma. I don't know if you remember that. This is like 15 years ago or something. I think I would say 2004, maybe. Almost 20 years ago, and all the international press start covering the monk revolutions. The Buddhist monks decided to stand against the military government in Burma. And during a whole week or 10 days, we could see everywhere, CNN and all the big news broadcasters, material about Burma. And then I thought, oh, this is my chance. I have a material about Burma, so I contact the biggest Brazilian broadcaster, is Globo TV, and they had at that time a Sunday evening show that was the biggest Brazilian audience. It's like the entire Brazil stops to see that show, and they put together everything that happened along the week. And I contacted them, I introduced myself, I say, I have a good material about Burma, probably you guys going to show up something in the weekend. So they say, oh, okay, so bring your material, let's take a look. And they love it. And they say, Marcos, let's do something. Let's do the entire last block with you. And you gonna tell the story. I say, me? No, me. No. I can give you the images and you put a professional journalist to do. No. You know, you're the one who are there. And it was funny because I was presenting that trailer for friends and family for 1 year. So I knew very well how to put my narration over the scenes. But it was funny because I didn't say anything to anyone because I thought at the deep that would never go to the air. Because this kind of show, if something happened along the week, for example, the Pope gets sick, or they just put it down, my Burma material, and it's news. And along the show, nothing was coming, and suddenly in the last block, it came, my segment. And it was super nice. I received 6,000 emails in the next day. I wake up, I open my inbox, there was 6,000 emails. The audience of that material was like over 10 million people that watch at that show. And I start getting invitations and more people connecting to me. The photography was really beautiful. And in that time, there was very little content produced in Brazil about outside Brazil. Everything was being like a Brazilian content. And so it brought the attention of some Brazilian production companies. They started contacting me as I slowly start like collaborating with them. And then I thought, wait, maybe it's possible for me to be a documentary filmmaker in this life. So I kept working in the big company to save money. And after 1 year, I decided to just turn the key and open my own production label based on international issues and communities across the globe, remote places, environmental and social issues. And I start my journey as a filmmaker.
Wow. Okay, I have a question and a comment to make. So my comment is, this sounds like one of those stories when you become famous overnight almost, but I just wanted to point that it wasn't overnight. It was a lot of work of you learning how to film, spending a month in Burma, finding all those places and the scenery and everything, and then working for the whole year with the production company, producing the trailer, pitching the trailer until the opportunity came along. So this is amazing. And my question is, when you were talking about the places you went in Burma, like knowing that you went there with pretty much no information about the country at all because it was closed, how did you find, the ways of knowing and going and visiting all those sea nomads, the gypsies, and the Golden Triangle and all of that, like hiring a hot air balloon the first time traveling across the country that you have nothing about? It's just, you're an adventurous person.
It's true. Now, what happened is that a year before, I went to Thailand. And Burma brought my attention that time. I saw in the map and said, wow, what is this little country here that I never heard about? And I spent 1 year searching and trying to put together this trip. So it was 1 year contacting people, searching, buying Lonely Planet, traveling guide, and everything. So I knew a little bit the places I want to visit. But I think the trickiest part, it was filming inside the country. So what I did as a good Brazilian, I brought in my backpack few Brazilian soccer teams, the official Brazilian soccer T-shirt, and with the name Ronaldo, that at that time was the famous player. And I bought 5 or 6 because every time I had a problem, I would give as a present the Ronaldo. So you can't film me here. Where's your permit? Who are you? Oh, Brazilian. I played that whole of the crazy Brazilian tourist. Oh, I'm just a tourist, Brazilian. Oh, yeah, shirt and everything. So with this giving shirts for the authorities along the way, it was an easy way to just move forward and everything. I was lucky also to be in the right spots. And we are able to find good people there to help us, to bring us to the poppy fields, to those tribes. It was a mix of 1 year planning and studying and being lucky to be able to really film, to really be like using the camera all the time. And one thing that also counted is that as the Burmese people were not very used to be over in front of the cameras, I was a kind of invisible. Nobody was like too much paying attention on me. I was able to go there, place my camera, film a little bit. People were not like, oh, TV, we bring the, it flowed very well. It flowed very well.
Oh, nice. Well, good story. And yes, I remember Ronaldo.
Yes. Yeah, Ronaldo saved me from a lot of troubles there.
Great soccer player. Okay, well, and it has been almost 20 years since then, right? So yes. How many projects did your production company produce?
Yeah, we have a couple projects that belongs to us, and many projects that we work with other companies. But what I think was interesting is that after this Burma TV show, I decided to make a film, saying, okay, we did this TV show for TV, and now I want to make a short film or something to go to film festivals and to see what's going to happen. And I found a story in Rio that Rio, Rio de Janeiro is full of social problems. We have amazing culture, amazing people, a lot of problems. And I found this fisherman community. In Rio de Janeiro, we have a very, very big bay called Guanabara Bay. And around this bay, there are several communities, slums and poor communities. And I found a story in one of these communities. They used to be fishermen families, but the bay was so polluted, so dirty, that the kids, the new generation, they could not survive as fishermen anymore, and they are going to crime. All the kids in that community were going to drug dealing, robberies, and things like this. And I found one guy that was trying to take the garbage out of the bay, recycle, transform in art, engage the local children, so they will be engaged in this recycling art project. And I said, oh, this could be nice. This could be nice. And I made a movie about that, a very small and simple film, but really nice. I found some characters, locals, that they sing happy songs about their reality. The kids were great. It was my first experience actually working with teenagers and kids. And this film went very well. We are able to attend several important film festivals. We got awards in Hollywood. This film was presented in the MoMA Museum in New York for a while.
What's the name of the film?
It's called Vultures Have Wings. Mm-hmm. Vultures Have Wings.
Vultures Have Wings.
Yes, it's a short film. And what happened, and this I think was the turning point of my filmmaker perspective. Because what happened is once the film started going to festivals, me and my partner in Brazil, we started receiving a lot of emails. Marcos, how can I help these kids? I say, whoa. That was the moment that I say, whoa, these films can really be a bridge. They can be a platform for this social change. So we start getting hundreds of emails from all over the world. Oh, I want to help those kids. How can I help this project? And it was tricky because we are not like social workers. We are filmmakers. And it was a little bit difficult for me to figure out at that point how to create these connections. But anyway, through the film, we found a lot of sponsors for that project. We found people that donate. We are able to build a computer center in that community. We build a library there. We build a school. We found sponsorship for each one of the kids to go to college. And I felt so good. I felt, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to make films with this purpose that changes people's lives. And make the audience in the other side to be aware of what's going on, other realities and everything. So it was funny because I made that film and then I thought I was ready. I said, okay, I made this very successful TV show. Then I have this short film that got a lot of awards. So now I can do whatever I want. But was not like that, because the filming industry is much more complicated and difficult. And I remember that I used to write a lot of projects, to write search and in writing film projects and ideas. And I had the opportunity to go to São Paulo in one of those TV meetings where you can pitch and present projects for big players. And I made an appointment with the vice president of National Geographic. And I say, wow, this is going to be great. So I sat in front of her and I put my best projects on the table. And she looked and say, wow, this is nice. This is so interesting. This is amazing. But Marcos, how can you prove me that you're able to deliver this? You only have a short film. You only have a small TV program. And those are complex projects, TV series, feature films. How can you prove me that you can deliver? And I didn't know how to answer. And it was like a little hard, because in the next day she used my example in a presentation. She did a workshop and she mentioned me. Oh, this guy can present me this a wonderful project, but has no experience. And for me, that was a kind of punch in the stomach. And then I told my partner, oh, well, we need to find our best project, the most difficult feature film, and we really need to make it a very big, successful project. Get a lot of awards, sell for TV everywhere. And my project at that time that I chose was about climate change in the Himalayas, because that was 2009, and everybody was talking about climate change. But through the scientific point of view, Al Gore had just released that movie, An Inconvenient Truth. He won the Oscar with An Inconvenient Truth. And it was about the CO2 emissions and the whole of the industries and all the graphics and the temperature raise and everything. And I wanted to do a climate change film by the human point of view, try to find communities and people already affected by the climate change. And I found this nomad tribe in the Himalayas. They live in the top of the Himalayas. They are shepherds. And because of the desertification process of the Himalayas, these people are being displaced. They cannot live as nomads anymore. There's no more water. And they are moving to the city when they lose their identity, or they go to slums and everything. And I thought that would be a good project to invest. So I got my remaining money that I saved from the time working the companies, and it was very little. I would say that I had at that time $20,000. So I bought new equipment and I went by myself alone to live alone to live with this tribe. I was doing everything, the microphone, the audio, the camera, photography, production, and everything. And I lived for 6 months with this nomad tribe in the Himalayas. I was kind of adopted because I arrived there. And I think if I come there with a team, a production team, you would be, okay, you guys there and we are here. But as I was alone, I was kind of adopted by one family, the family that I filmed with. And it was amazing. I found a local person that knew the dialect that they used to talk. It was very difficult, the communication. And I lived with them for all those months, migrating with them, moving to different locations. And the film went very well because it doesn't even look like a documentary. Because I was so long with them that the arc of the film, many things were happening in front of the cameras. And I could find a generational problem going on. The young people want to leave the tribe and leave behind the culture and that lifestyle. And the old people say, no, we need to be firm. We need to live here. We need to keep going and everything. So that was the key drama of the film. This family where the part of the family wants to move, the other doesn't want. And the story developed around that. And this film went extremely well, extremely well. We won 26 international awards with this movie. We sold for over 45 countries in television. And again, a lot of people contacting us. How can we help this tribe? There is a lot of studies over this film. This movie you can find on Amazon Prime. It's called The Broken Moon. The Broken Moon. It's kind of I watched it another day after many years. I said, oh my God, it's so slow. It's a kind of Western. It's a Western of the Himalayas. It's slow pace. You're really in the pace of the tribe. But it's beautiful photography, very human history, very relevant for that time. And I think that project was the one that really put me in the map. Before that, okay, some little things here and there, working with other people's projects, but this movie was the one. And this film was bought by one of the broadcasters that got the movie, was Discovery Channel. And they bought for a few years and they renew it again. So it went everywhere. It was a really nice film project. I love it. I dream about coming back there and presenting the film to the nomads, create like an open air theater in the top of the Himalayas and see what happened like 10, 15 years later. What happened?
That would be fun. That could be a documentary on its own, right? Bringing that film and showing it to them. Well, wow, this is amazing. What did the lady from the National Geographic said?
That was a good, because I met her later. And a few years later, I went to another event and I met her. And she said, oh, Marcos, you did, huh? You did. I didn't believe, and I even use you as an example in that talk, but you did. And now National Geographic wants to work with you. But there is one problem, Marcos. You have to invest $1 million in your production company because we are National Geographic. We are huge. We are a big corporation. So you need to have a department to talk with for example, our law department to talk with us. You need to have a post-production department to talk with our post-production department. So you have two options. Or you invest in your company, make it grow, create departments. Cannot be you and two other guys. I used to play working in underwear. No, cannot be like this. Or you make a partnership with a bigger production company. But what happened is that at that time, I was already writing Child of Nature, the project the film that you saw. Mm-hmm. And I had two options: team up with National Geographic or find an investor, find a sponsor for the movie. And finding a sponsor for the movie would give me much more freedom to do the movie the way I want, take the time that I think was necessary. And I thought this would be better for me. And I could sell for National Geographic later. So I decided to not work directly with them and keep doing my independent work. And it was a good decision because it was very hard, actually. It took me 4 years to find the funds for this film. But I ended up finding an investor, someone who looked at the project and said, wow, this is amazing. I think this is a good idea. And I want to help you. I want to be your part. I'm not going to put my company brand on this movie. I think this movie cannot have any company brand. But I want to be your partner as a person. I want to be your investor on that. How much it is, and let's do it. And I found this amazing philanthropist. He's Brazilian businessman, an amazing person, Miguel Kriegsner. And he became my partner in this adventure. And we worked together for 5 years, creating Child of Nature. It was a very long project. For the ones who doesn't know, I can describe a little bit what the film is about.
Oh, yeah. We'll jump onto that. And I will make sure to put all the links to the films that are available for purchase or for rent online so people can actually find them and watch them. And I attest that the Child of Nature, the project that we're going to discuss right now, which is like that's really big. Everyone should see it. I have so many questions about that, but please continue with the story.
So, what I did is like I put together my two previous experience. What happened in that small short film that I did in Brazil, that people contacting me and how can I help these kids? I say, oh, all right. How can I make something like this, but global, not only a small Brazilian issue? And so I decided to make, and also the way the world was developing and all the problems, and say, I start studying and say, maybe the children are the key of most of the answers that we are looking for. The children, until a certain age, they have this enchanted view of the world. They don't see difference between culture, races, color, religion, anything. And they see everybody as brothers and everything. So we come to this planet with this enchanted view. And when we are presented, when we grow up and we are presented for all these dogmas, the educational dogmas, religion, economy, politics, and then it started the disconnection process. So I thought, if I make a film about kids around the world with this enchanted view, really doing things for their communities, this can inspire people to do the same. And I remember that I thought a lot about my mother, because my mother was a Brazilian middle-class woman, very intelligent, that reads all the newspaper, it's updated about everything. She knows that we need to preserve the planet, that we need to have a different consuming attitude and everything, but she's not able to come back from the grocery shop without 30 plastic bags. She never gonna recycle or do things like this. And I realized that to change my mom's mindset, and when I say my mom, actually I was thinking about everybody, just using her as an example, cannot be on the mind, cannot be like telling her to do things or showing her things. She needs an internal paradigm shift, something that she really feel from inside, wow, how can I contribute with this process? How can I use my personal talent to do something relevant for the planet? And I thought the kids could be the trigger for that. So I wrote this project that about children and youth taking the responsibility of changing the planet. And in the beginning, it was really difficult because I could not find any project online. I searched a lot. Maybe I found one or two. I found one activist girl in Canada. I found some kids in Germany doing something relating planting trees, but I knew that those kids were around, but I didn't know very well how to find them. And it was interesting because when I present the concept for my investor, he said, Marcos, this is an amazing idea, but do you have all the stories for this global? This is a huge project. You want to film all over the world. Do you have all the stories? And I say, yeah, kind of, but actually I didn't have the stories. I was hoping to have these predestinated encounters. When I go to the world after them, I was sure that we will find each other. And I got the funds. I used to say, just a parenthesis, that make the film is 10%. I think when we talk in arts in general, do the art is 10%. The other 90% is getting the funds, the distributions, the business around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was really difficult, but finally I got all the funds. I found my partner, I got the funds, and I started traveling with my camera. This time I was not alone. I was working with my wife, and that I think it helped a lot in this sense. And also she got pregnant along the way. So every time we find a story, she was with that big belly and everything. So it broke the barriers a little bit. It made us more trustable for the families, because work with children is not easy. You have not only to have an empathy to develop an empathy between you and the kids, they need to see you as a friend. If they don't see you as a friend, they don't collaborate. They don't want to repeat the sequence. They get tired very, very, very fast. They don't want to open their lives. So first of all, you need to really be in the energy of the kids and be able to become their friends and have the trust of the parents. Who are these people that is going to be here with my kids day and night? And so those are the obstacles that we had. But to tell you the truth, finding the stories were super easy. We found one story after the other one, like magnetic. We never went without a story. There was some interesting episodes along the journey, but was always one kid introducing the other, or someone come and say, oh, this is a nice project, I heard about that. Oh, have you heard about the kids' rights prize? Have you heard about the... So it was like creating this network. And it was amazing because I filmed for 3 years in 15 countries. And I found 25 youth organizations working in totally different ways and in different segments. Spirituality, social issues, street kids, world peace, arts, environment preservation, activism. And I thought this was the key, because when I first designed this project, the name was Child of Nature, Kids Like Protecting the Nature. And then I found out that, wait a minute, it can be much more diverse. Because when the audience will watch this, they can connect with the cause that they are more passionate about. When we presented this in a classroom, for example, some kids will connect more with the girl that is a youth journalist. Other kids will connect more with the Filipino boy that is helping street kids that you saw in the movie. Others will connect more with the African kids, the photographers. And I thought this was the idea. And something really incredible happened. The film in itself started to connect all those organizations. Because every time I arrive in a new place and I tell about the film, the first question that the kids or the organization around the kids, they ask, Marcos, who are the other kids? What are they doing? And I start describing and connecting them, and describing and connecting. So at the end of the process, all those 25 organizations in 15 countries were working together, exchanging ideas, exchanging methodology, help each other in campaigns and everything. And then I thought this movie can be a call for a movement. This can be a call for the unity of the young people. So the films follow a little bit this path.
Yeah, it was actually amazing. It was very moving toward the end of the movie when first you watch kind of absolutely separate, not connected stories. And then at the end of the movie, those kids are writing each other emails and creating something together. It was really, really moving because it was kind of unexpected in a way, because it started as just, anecdotal, different stories from different little parts of the world. Let's take a short coffee break. Producing this podcast sure takes a lot of energy. Would you buy me a coffee so I can continue doing it? I would really appreciate it. The link is in the show notes and on our website, intheartscene.com. Thanks for supporting our show. Hey listeners, did I tell you that we have fun merch? Well, we do. Click shop on our website and check it out. We have tees and hoodies, coffee mugs for your paint water, and my personal favorite, a studio apron. We use fun quotes from real artists, our podcast guests. And the best thing is all items are customizable, so get creative. By purchasing the merch, not only do you support the production of this podcast, but you also help us support art-related nonprofits and community organizations. Thank you for your support. So where did you start, actually? What was the first story that you discovered?
I started in United States because for the feature film, I only included 5 of the many stories. I chose my 5 best stories and the Indian girls at the end, the journalists that connect everything. And I also put everybody at the end. At the end, we have that sense of movement, so everybody's there. But the stories in itself are my 5 best stories. So I started filming in the US. I found good stories here, but not as powerful as the ones that we see in the film. But the second country was Canada. And then I found Takaya Blenning, the activist, the indigenous activist that advocates for children's rights and for environment. Canada is the second story in the movie. She's very articulate, very impressive, the way she can, at such a young age, be so powerful. And I thought it was a really, really interesting story to bring.
Yeah, and, she reminded me a little bit of Greta Thunberg.
Yes, yeah, totally. And from there, I went to Asia. And somehow I realized that in the developing countries, the poor countries, where the social issues are more profound, they were easier to find really, really tough stories. As you saw, the African kids, India, and for me, the best of the best, that is the Filipino boy that helps street kids. So that those many stories I found in the middle of the process. After like 6-7 months filming, I was like happy, but not very excited. But when I went to Asia and Africa, everything changed. It was where I really, really found the stories that I saw. Wow, this, as you said, I used to sit, I used to film the whole day in Africa, India, and everything, and sit in the sidewalk at the end of the day and think, oh my God, what did I do in the last 40 years? Because these kids are doing much more than me. These kids are such a young age, and they don't have all those excuses that we hear all the time. Oh, when I have money, I will help the others. I will. But not now, when I have money. Oh, when I have time. Right now, I don't have time. But when I have... So these kids, they show to me that doesn't need anything like this. You don't need money. You don't need time. You just need to want to do it. And they really are, they're super professional and they work hard. They run their own organizations. And it was for me like a PhD in social work. I changed a lot as a person also. First of all, becoming friend of these kids that I still friend of them. I still connected. It created a very big bond between me and those characters. And learning with these organizations, the way they do their projects. So it was a fantastic journey. It took me 3 to 4 years. I went around the globe 3 times. And the most difficult part was to edit the film. Because I had all these 25 stories. I say, all right, now where do I start for putting together those stories? The first cut of the movie, I tried to put everything. Because I wanted to show that there was a movement. I wanted to show that there is stories everywhere. The diversity, the sense of movement for me was more important. But the problem is that the stories, in this way, the stories were very shallow. And people were complaining, no, I want to know more. Cannot be so fast. I want to know more about this organization. I want to see the drama. So I start like removing stories and going deeper in some of them. And right now we have the movie Child of Nature that is available in most of streaming platforms around the world: Google Play, YouTube Movies, Apple TV, iTunes, everywhere. And we have a series that is around the film, mostly educational, because we found out, I thought in the beginning that my main audience would be the teenagers, because the film is about children and teenagers. But I found out later that our audience is much more the mothers and the teachers. They are the ones that really advocate for the films. The mothers are the ones who say, oh, you got to see this. they are the ones who take the kids, put in front of the screen and show the film for the kids to see the other realities, what other kids are doing in other parts of the world and everything. So there is an army of moms around the film. I think I end up making a movement of mothers. I think yes, and educators. The schools are also a great resource for the film, because the teachers, they can present each one of the stories, they can go deep into the issues, they can because in the movie we talk about the refugee crisis, we talk about social, environmental, everything, so the teachers can go deep in these issues, and we can develop together with the teachers action toolkits for the kids who watch the movie to start their own actions, like all right, I watched this film as you told me, oh, I cried and I watched this film, and then what, and how at the end of the film we can connect these kids, we can give them tools to start doing something. So that's what we're working right now, in building a platform and master classes when kids can learn for the kids and they can collaborate and everything. But the film in itself, I think it was like an amazing process, and I was really happy to develop this process and be able to complete and release, and the film was successful. It also won a couple international awards, and we're still in this path.
Yeah, it's the really truly amazing project. Absolutely. So what happened to the other stories? I know that you have included at the end, where during the credits, there are other kids, there are little clips of everyone. I assume that those are the rest of the stories that did not make it to the film. So are you planning on doing something with those, maybe later on, maybe a Child of Nature sequel? Or are they just going to be like on the shelf? And second question, related to the same thing. Is there a story that did not make it to the film that you personally have connected to, or something that you wish you could put in the film, but for whatever reason that didn't make it?
Yes. So for me as a filmmaker, this is the most difficult decisions to make. First of all, when we arrive in a community and we film them, we create a huge expectation. They put so much hope that movie is going to change their lives, and this gives me a big responsibility. Wow! Now that I cross my life with these people, I cannot say bye and disappear. So it was actually really difficult for me to choose the stories of the movie, and what I did is like first of all, get all the short stories, all the 25 short films that I made, and make them available for the organizations so they can use in their corporate material, they can use to raise funds. Now we are putting together a series that comes after the feature film. I have the feeling that this series will be more educational. They're gonna be more in the school system than in the entertainment streaming platforms. But we never know. But there are a few stories that I really wanted to put in the film. What happened? You start a movie. I start this film alone. So I was the one taking all the decisions. But along the process, for the film to succeed, you need to bring partners. You need to bring executive producers, associate producers, and they start having voice on the project. And they sometimes they bring the view from the market. The director is passionate. The director, I want that character. Oh, it was so much effort to make that sequence. I want that sequence in the film. And the guy who is not part of the process saying, no, it doesn't work. It's too much crazy. No. For example, in the first cut of the movie, this is something that I still, with that butterflies in the stomach every time I think about it. In my first cut, that was not released, the director's cut, I create a guided meditation in the middle of the film. People say, you are crazy. So the film was going on, the stories were going on. Towards the end of the film, a little bit before the end of the film, everything started getting like in slow motion. I started bringing that Indian meditation music, and one of my characters in India, one of the stories that didn't made it to the feature film, he opens the eyes, looks straight to the audience, and brings a guided meditation. That was so beautiful, so beautiful, so beautiful. And we see the scenes of kids from all over the world and everything. And then after this meditation, the films comes back and come with the grand finale and everything. I love it, that sequence. I always thought it was a piece of art. It was my director's license. But at the end, the distributors, oh, it's too much, Marcos. This is too much. The film became hippie. Nobody's going to get that. I don't know. I still a conflict inside me if I should say, no, this should stay because it's very innovative. I never saw a guided meditation for the audience. For the audience. It was like looking to the eyes of the audience seated on the theater and doing a guided meditation.
So I want to see director's cut. Is it available anywhere?
Yeah, I can show you this link. I still have this. I have this guided meditation as a sequence, as a separate sequence that I can send to you. It's really beautiful.
Is it possible to share it with my audience?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
And so this story was about a boy in India that lives in a slum, and he was a healer. He was healing other kids in the slum with Reiki. I thought that story was amazing. I love that boy. He's one of my best friends so far. We are very connected still. And but it was a little bit difficult for the people. Oh, he's putting his hands over people and healing. He thinks he's a god. People didn't get. Most of the people didn't get. So I end up not including this story in the movie. I have his story in separate as a short film that we want to release in festivals. It's ready to go. And another story that didn't go for the film.
The Reiki guy would fly in California for sure.
Yes, yeah. I want to bring him here. He's fantastic. His name is Ram Soni. He belongs to our organization in India called Touching Lives, an amazing project. And another story that was great, but also very long and difficult to fit, it was in Thailand. I found an orphanage that it was a house in the middle of Thailand, run by children. It was 120 kids running that house, and with many departments helping other kids, helping the communities around, singing songs about universal love. The music is something that I want to talk about because what I found out along this process, that a lot of kids creating songs. So we have for example, you saw in the movie the Canadian girl that she sings songs. The African kids with that hip hop that ends the movie. So the film itself started becoming very musical. And I thought music was excellent to communicate with younger audience. And there was many interesting stories. For example, if you allowed me to tell, because this is one of the best, at the end of Child of Nature film, we have a music video. The film ends with these African kids singing this happy music about the connection of all the kids in the world. And ends with those scenes that you mentioned, clips of all the kids that we film, and all these 25 organizations bring this sense of movement. And I remember that I was filming this slum in Kenya called Madari. It was a very difficult place to film, very dangerous, very complicated, very dangerous. And I was filming with a young photographer organization. There was nothing to do with music. It was a social project that takes kids from the slum and teach them photography. And along the filming, they say, Marcos, you need to know our neighbors. Our neighbors are called Billion Music Family. And it's very similar. Billion is this guy, young guy, and he takes the kids from the slum and teach them hip hop songs. And they sing musics about the power of the children. And when I heard the song, I said, wow, this looks like it's made for the film. It's exactly what we talk about. I want to know them. And I connect with Billion. I start making a film about them. And I say, Billion, I want you guys to make original song for the film. And he say, all right, so Marcos, I gonna book a studio here in Nairobi for us to record the music. I say, no, wait a minute. First, you guys write the music, show to me. We can adjust the music. The kids can practice, can reverse. So when everything is ready, we book the studio. I say, no. Here in Kenya, we don't work like this. I'm going to book 3 hours of studio. Then I thought, oh my God, I'm going to expend money because what I'm going to do 3 hours in the studio without the music? There's nothing. And it was a miracle. We arrived in the studio, me, Billion, the manager of the project, and 2 kids. And in the first hour, they wrote the lyrics at the same time that the guy was doing the beats. The second hour, they record the song. And the third hour, they edited the song and gave me the flash drive with the music ready.
You kidding?
Yes, everything was made from zero to the end in 3 hours. From no music, zero, no nothing. For writing the music, recording and editing in 3 hours, and it's amazing. That music, it's amazing.
And so, that's the song that is playing at the end of the movie, right?
The song that plays at the end of the movie. So what we have around the film, and it would be lovely to share with your audience, is not only the teaser, the trailer, the film in itself, but those music videos, the guided meditation that I made in India, the call for unity that we have at the end. We have very nice short videos that we use as a campaign that helps to promote the film. And for me, they are the best. For me, those music videos, those guided meditations, they are the best of the best. They didn't make to the film, some of them, but they are, for me, are the gold. Is the best of the best.
Wow, I really did not anticipate how much more it is to the film than the film itself is incredibly moving, but the way you're describing all the little parts that did not make it to the film and all the effort and the connections that you made along the way and oh my God, your pregnant wife working with you, connecting with all those children. It's making it much more. It's so much bigger and so much more moving and more personal. It's really incredible.
Oh, thank you for allowing me for sharing, because this is something that everybody wants to know. There is the story of the film and how the film was made. I used to say that sometimes how the film was made is even more interesting. How I met the people, how we ended up filming that, how we found these stories. I remember, for example, that in the middle of the journey, I wanted to film something in Thailand. And I was searching about kids helping animals. I know that there is a lot of elephant sanctuaries and things like this in Thailand. So I started searching in this way, but I could not find anything. And the weather was not good. I bought already, I had buy these tickets to Bangkok. But the next 20 days would be horrible weather, raining. Nobody was replying. I couldn't find any story, and I was very anxious. I say, oh my God, how I am traveling to this country, spending a lot of money in hotels, air tickets, and I don't have a story to film. Usually when I go to the country, I was already connected with the organization, but in that case, so I landed in Bangkok, and my wife, she found a hotel just beside the hospital that she wanted to go in the next day for a prenatal exam. Mm-hmm. So she chose a hotel, a small guest house just in front of the hotel. And I remember that I came late. We came late at night for this hotel room, and I was kind of sad. I say, "Oh, I can't believe that we are already here. We don't have a story. Imagine if my sponsor calls right now to ask where I am, what I'm doing." And suddenly, I looked to the trash can in the room, and there was a magazine inside the trash can. What is not usual, because when you get a room in a hotel, the room is totally clean.
Uh-huh.
There was a magazine inside the trash can. This was like 10 minutes after landing there without a story. Then I took the magazine, I opened, and the cover of the magazine was Children of the Forest.
Oh my goodness.
The title of the magazine. Then I opened the magazine, and there was this huge article about this orphanage in the middle of Thailand, the house run by the kids, helping elephants, helping this, helping that. And I said, Johanna, my wife, I found the story. And there was the name of the organization. So I called in the middle of the night. It was late. It was like 11 p.m. or something. I called someone, pick up the phone. And I say, "Oh, my name is Marcos. I'm a Brazilian filmmaker. And I talk for 1 hour without stop, telling everything. At the end of my speech, I was already midnight. The lady said, "Why you don't come tomorrow? You can stay here we have a room here for you guys, and you can stay for a month, no problem," and everything. So we landed in Thailand at 9:30 p.m. I found the magazine at 10:30. At midnight, everything was ready for filming. It was like miracles. So some of those miracles, they happened around the way. And we went there, and it was super nice. That one of the stories that didn't make for the film. They are there. We have some clips of them, but this story unfortunately didn't make. But it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I'm listening to you, and I keep thinking about, and it happens almost every time I'm talking to someone on this podcast. This feeling of like you are sending something to the universe, and you are receiving, the guidance and everything. As long as you're open-minded, as long as you're ready to jump into action, it's just coming along. So yeah, it's really
true. It's true. This is very important. When you go for an art project or for a film, you need to be in that vibe. It cannot be just an idea. It needs to be something that you are really committed and you are in love and you want to do it. It doesn't matter what. And this Child of Nature project, different than the past ones, it was very magical in many ways. For example, when I was looking for the sponsor, as I told you, it took me 4 years to find this sponsor. I wrote this project in 2012, and I only found the funding in 2016. And what happened is that I was about to give up. I was 4 years having hundreds of meetings and showing the project to people. People even cried during the presentations. But they say, "Oh, but we don't have funds this year. Oh, but this is so complicated. No, but it doesn't match with the marketing communication of my company and everything." So I was getting very tired at the end of the process. And more than this, my money was finishing. The royalties that I was getting from the Broken Moon was finishing. And I remember that was October 2015. And I gave myself a deadline. I say, maybe, because I was so much committed to that everybody around me say, "You're crazy, stop, move on. And you're going to break, you're going to go into bankruptcy. You're putting yourself out of the market to don't work with other projects." I was like totally on that. And in October, after 3 years trying to find funds, I put myself a deadline. I say, if in December I don't find this money, I had zero so far, zero, not even $1. If in December I don't get all the money, I will give up. I will change my career. I don't want to be a filmmaker anymore if I don't find this money. I will find something else. I'm frustrated and everything. And I start like really, really asking the universe every night and going to spiritual rituals and everything. And I remember that a few days after that, I got a phone call from one of the production companies that I used to work, offering me to direct a very big project that was nothing to do with Child of Nature. And it was a very controversial project. There was some, it was a dam that would be a hydroelectric plant, a huge hydroelectric plant that some big companies were planning to build in the middle of Brazil in indigenous lands that would create a huge, devastating ecological impact and social impact. And these people want me to work for the companies, to make films for the companies to show how good would be to build that hydroelectric plant, how this would transform the people's life. But that was exactly the opposite that I wanted to do. I needed that money, but I could not do it. And the producer say, no, you gotta get this. And say, Marcos, I'm gonna put 20 people to work with you. You're going to have the structure that you never had. You're going to have all the photography directors, cinematographers, the entire production company work for you. And I give you, and he offered me like a very good salary. And I remember that I hang out the phone and I look to the sky in my company and say, are you guys kidding? Like, because I was like asking so much for the universe to make Child of Nature happen, and suddenly people put in front of me a lot of money to do something completely opposite, and I need that money. So I said no, and the guy called me the next day saying, no, I'm not going to accept the no. I double the salary.
Oh my God.
I said no, I triple the salary, and if you don't get, I put you in the fridge. Don't call us anymore if you don't accept. I say no. And 1 week later, I found my investor for Child of Nature.
Wow.
That was the universe testing
me.
That was the universe saying, let's see if the intentions of this guy is real or if it is about money. Put some money for him in the table and see what's going to happen. Was really difficult decision. But at the end, like in mid-November, I found my investor, and then I was able to do the film the way I wanted. So, and from that point, a lot of magic started happening. As I told you, it was very easy to find the stories, one thing connected to the other, and it was an amazing time of my life, I would say.
Wow. Well, I applaud to you for not selling your soul and sticking to the plan and doing the right thing. It's wow, it's amazing. All right. Well, I have to cut off here because we are at the top of the hour and I have mom's duty. So, but there's one last thing I wanted to ask you, a big favor. I am such a big fan of Portuguese language. So, I usually at the end of the episode, I usually say, we'll see you next time in the art scene. Mm-hmm. Can you say that in Portuguese for me, please?
Of course. So first of all, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
I love this conversation. For me, it's so energizing to bring back these stories, to remind all of this. And so thank you a lot.
Oh, you made my job so easy. Like the moment I think about the question, you were already talking about it. So I didn't even have to do anything. You just did the whole job.
Oh, thank you. And so, sorry again, how is the phrase that you want me to say in Portuguese?
We'll see you next time in the art scene.
Então, nós nos vemos da próxima vez no Art Scene.
Oh,
obrigado, muitos beijos e foi prazer estar com vocês. Ciao.
I have goosebumps. Thank you, Marcos.
Thank you so much.
It has been another episode of In the Art Scene podcast. If you liked today's conversation, please give us a good review on Apple and go listen to other great stories. Check out our website intheartscene.com or follow us on Instagram at intheartscene for more content. If you are a creative and you want to share your story, shoot us a message from the website or DM us on Instagram. Look forward to seeing you next time in the art scene.